In the early days, this was a land that first drew adventurers to Texas. People like Davy Crockett. There is a quote that he had said in a letter that he wrote back home. He said, "I must say, I have seen of Texas. It is the garden spot of the world, the best land and the best prospects for health I ever saw." Now, a lot's changed in these parts since Davy Crockett first made that observation. But Texas still has the best land, and Texans are still justifiably, fiercely committed to land ownership. Today, more than 90% of the acreage in Texas is privately owned. And we got to fight to protect the rights of folks who own it. Unfortunately, the protections previously guaranteed by tradition and law were weakened by that 2005 Supreme Court decision that allowed the taking of private property for illegitimate reasons, a decision that's thrown our nation's eminent domain process completely out of whack. This landmark case was named for a woman who might as well have been a Texan. When you read her book and you find out the toughness of this individual that she displayed in that legal process as she struggled to defend her personal property against that grasping effort of her own city. Suzette Kelo, it's an honor to be with you today. As I shared with you, you're welcome to come to Texas anytime. You reflect our values. When the unfortunate decision was made in your case, I called on the Texas Legislature to pass an important law, one that would prevent similar violations of private property rights in Texas. And I'm grateful that the Legislature agreed that special session. Through Senate Bill 7, we made it clear that Texans will not tolerate taking land for economic development or giving it to a private developer. In 2007, we worked hard to pass additional protection for property owners, but that bill that reached my desk had been so heavily modified from its original form that it would have done more harm than good. Here in 2009, we have two very clear challenges before us. Challenges I am confident that we can handle with a team approach. First of all, I believe it's time to enshrine the provisions of Senate Bill 7 with the passage of a constitutional amendment, one that clearly codifies these essential protections for generations to come. Next, we need to pass further legislation that protects landowners from other abuses of eminent domain. Government shouldn't use eminent domain to take someone's land without making a fair offer for that property. It is wrong for any government to make a lowball offer, then respond to an owner's righteous indignation and refusal by taking their land. The government owes landowners a genuine good faith negotiation, not a land grab. I'm pleased that Representative Orr and Senator Duncan are working on legislation that will better protect our landowners. We should also implement Representative Jackson's constitutional amendment that the voters have already adopted. It allows a landowner to buy back land when it isn't used for the project it was taken for, and buy it back at the price that the government paid for it in the first place, not an inflated present market value. That increase in value belongs to the landowner, not the government. The landowner shouldn't have to pay extra to get it back. Without action on these additional protections, private property rights will be eroded, and they will undermine the very character of our state. Bottom line is, the government has no right to take anyone's land for non-public uses, and no amount of arguing is going to change that fact. I don't know if y'all ever heard of a old rancher out in East Texas in the Beaumont area. His name was W.P.H. McFadden. But to say he was a character would be a little bit of an understatement. He's remembered for a lot of things, like owning the land where the Spindletop oil well was drilled. But in this moment, I'm kind of reminded of something he once said. Old WPH was heard to say, "Now remember, sister, don't give up the land. They ain't making no more of it." And his words ring very true today. And the fierce independence that's bound up in our state's character has not been diminished with the passing of time. Let's continue working to preserve that character by protecting land ownership as an essential Texas right. I want to say thank you again to the Public Policy Foundation and the other supporters of this legislation for being here today. Look forward to working with you all and these members of the legislature, strengthening these protections and strengthening the reign of individual liberty in our state. God bless you.